Come on. It's a great stage. I don't mean to gross you out, but I think I am. I'll just start with it. Look, I do have the grossest story. It's in reality. Back when I was a kid, they used to have this thing called $1 Molson Golden beers at a bar. $1, one Molson. $20, fucking forget the night. So there I am, we're partying like crazy, you know, doing what $20 will get you. And I go into the bathroom, and it was one of those bathrooms like Wrigley Field, where it was like a trough. You know what I'm talking about? It was like not a urinal. It was like you just stand next to everybody. And somebody had either dumped a bunch of Campbell's soup in there or threw up. And so I'm sitting there, and a guy next to me is like, man, that's gross. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty gross. I said, I'd pay somebody like $10 if they ate it. The guy next to me is like, you know what? I'd throw in 10. Before you know it, the whole place has $10 bills up there, and we had this one hungry motherfucker who stepped forward. And apparently, about $120 got him. And we said, look, man, you gotta eat it, okay? You can't leave any behind. So there he is in that trough, just like gathering it up. He makes like a vomit snowball, about yay big. We're like, do it. And he's like, all right. Like, do it, man. And he mouths that fucking thing. Like, oh. And we're like, you gotta chew it, man. Fucking chews that thing down. But that's not the joke. It was pretty gross. The joke is that at the end of the night, was on that poor chick who was making out with him on the dance floor. Yikes. I figured, I did that for Charlie. He said I could say that, I was allowed to say that joke. And I don't like to do abortion jokes, but I do like condom jokes, which they're similar. So I'm at my wife's family for Thanksgiving, or my family for Thanksgiving. My wife's with me, and my parents are there, and my grandma, who's adorable. And when you turn 90, you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, you just say, it's okay. You've earned it. You've been on Earth long enough. You can say what you want. And she looks at my dad, and she's like, Bobby, you remember the time I caught you and Sheila in the bedroom? Do you remember that? You guys were getting busy. Right? And I was like, holy shit. She's like, yeah, remember? You had that condom on, and you ran down the hall, and it fell off. You remember that? My dad's like, what the fuck, right? My mom's like mortified. So my grandma goes into the kitchen. My dad leans over to my ear, and he goes, you know what, son? Your sister was in that condom. Bye, Orly. I know, that's as gross as I get right there. Pretty gross, though. I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, you got to lose weight. And he recommended the carnivore diet, if you're not familiar with that. And for me, the carnivore diet would be, I would have to have a tiger bite 40 pounds out of my ass. That's the only way it was going to work. And I know this is true because I read it on the doctor's chart. It said, this guy should only eat shit he can catch on foot. So that means I'm going to the gym. You know, I'm trying to like get better. And I went to a really nice gym. It was pretty expensive. And I realized that it's not for me, man. I can't go to expensive gyms. Do you know why? Because old men can afford to go there. No offense, but old guys can go there. And I have much respect for old guys. What I don't appreciate is their need to be naked and the comfortableness in which they are naked. It does not get me in the mood to lift any goddamn weights. If I'm tying my shoe and a fucking fat 7-year-old guy's like backing into me like you're watching the San Andreas Fault walk at you, I get the same angst as if I was in that goddamn fucking earthquake. I can't. It doesn't get me in the mood. I don't want to pump iron after that, all right? I can't do it. No offense. I get it. You guys were in foxholes taking pisses and shit. I understand. I commend you, but holy shit, right? I can't get ready. I can't turn the corner to fucking wash my hands or something and just see a fucking old guy just like drying his nutsack with the fucking hairdryer. I can't do it, man. You know what it looks like? It looks like somebody took a bag of 20 chicken nuggets and just dumped them in hair. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't get me in shape. Like, that doesn't make me run to the goddamn gym. But the last goddamn straw was, I walk around the corner, and there's this old fucking guy walks out of the shower completely erect. He's like, and if that wasn't enough, he goes over to talk to his buddy, who's naked sitting down on the bench is a whole other issue. And the guy's like, talking to him, like right there, he's like, penis. He's just right here, having a conversation. And the guy's like going, hey, G-Bob, that was the best pickle game I've ever seen you play. Like he's recording a fucking podcast. What fucking silver alert is it if you're the only one that doesn't know you got a heart on? But I digress. I love Michigan. I love being in Michigan. There's a lot of pot jokes up here, but I like Michigan because pot's free in Michigan. You don't have to pay for it. It's cool. All you do is just roll up behind a 1998 Grand Am and inhale. You're fucking good. My favorite, I was driving back from Pennsylvania, and I'm on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I see a billboard, and the billboard says, a little high is too high to drive. Now clearly, that is not written to get somebody who is currently high to stop driving, because it ain't happening. They're just going to be like, good thing I'm baked. If they really wanted somebody who was high currently driving their car, the billboard should say, I know you're high. That will get their attention. And be like, what? Did you tell... And if you wanted to get them to pull over, the next billboard should just say, everyone knows you're high, and just look for the brake lights. Michigan is cool because I live in Indiana. Indiana is one of those states, man. I'm from New Jersey, and I try to describe Indiana, the Midwest to people, and I'm like, look, it's where the world keeps its shitty weather when you're not using it. Right? It's the only place in the world that if you ask directions, they give you the directions based on shit that used to be there. Sir, if I knew where the Dairy Queen was, I wouldn't be lost. Now, Indiana's cool. Difference in Indiana, right? I bet in Midwest, you guys, Michigan too, you learn the counties of Michigan, right? It's part of when you go to school, you learn all the counties, right? You learn about your state. Indiana's the same way. Everybody can name a county. I'm from New Jersey. All they teach you are the 7 states that don't extradite. Because being from that state, I worked in a casino. I had a couple mafia customers. I have one, my favorite guy, his name's Al. He's dead now, so I can use his name without fear of me ending up in a box. Al was cool though, man. You didn't say no to Al. You could say maybe, but you couldn't say no. You said no, you ended up under a rose bush. One time he was trying to buy a Porsche 959, which at the time did not come in a convertible. And he called Germany. He's like, I got these krauts on the line. They're going to make me a goddamn convertible because you know what? I got a guy that'll make anything a convertible. You want a convertible minivan? I got the fucking guy. That's fucking Al. One time, Al flew his private plane, a little Piper fucking lawnmower, upside down lawnmower fucking plane, right? He flew it into an airport that hadn't existed for 20 years and parked it in the bay. I get a call. Do you represent Al? And I'm like, well, describe what you mean, represent Al. Like, hey, he crashed into the bay. So I go out there, and there's Al and his bodyguard, and they're fucking skinned head to toe. I mean, they're just like raspberries. It was a rough flight, let me put it that way, all right? And I walk up to him like, hey, man, hey, Al, are you all right? He's like, fuck Perugini, like the first time I've ever been thrown out of something going 40 miles an hour. What are you kidding me? What was cool with Al is he had a great car. He had a 1988 Lincoln Continental. Beautiful car. Beautiful for many reasons. It was a color called Midnight Purple, which for the ladies means something totally different now. He had this beautiful car, and I liked it because I wasn't taller then, but that seat could get me up there. I looked like I was 6'6" driving that car, man. I was like... But he wanted to sell it to me, good price. So where do you meet a mafia guy who wants to sell you a car? Under like a random light in a fucking alley. And I'm like, I am definitely on an FBI fucking film right now. But there I walk up, and there's Al, the fucking mafia used car salesman. He was like all hyped up. He was like, Perugini, look at this beautiful car. I'm like, wow, it is pretty cool. He's like, check this out. And he opens the trunk. He's like, look at this fucking trunk. It's so big you can't even hear the shovels touch. So I walk around the car, and there's 9 bullet holes in the passenger side rear door. 9, I counted them. I'm like, ow, man, I can't buy this car. It's got bullet holes in it. He's like, Perugini, it adds character. I'm like, I can't. He's like, look, my uncle unfortunately passed away in this vehicle. And I'm like, oh man, I can't buy a car your uncle was murdered in. He's like, who said anything about murder? The coroner said he actually died of a heart attack, so it wasn't even murder. I'm like, fuck you, Al. Jesus Christ. I have a friend who, he's a little behind the times. He'll go to a Mexican restaurant and he'll order with a Mexican accent. And I'm like, wow. Makes me think, well, all of you people really like cilantro on your tacos. He likes saliva on his. But the worst is when we go to an Indian restaurant and he's like, how? Lunch come, maybe 1-3 weeks then. I'm like, come on, man, wrong Indian. Wrong Indian. No, I like the holidays. I love talking politics, the holidays. It's fun. Get everybody riled up. The juice is flowing, you know what I'm saying? And I can do that because I'm short. I sit at the kids' table anyway. And I win all those arguments. But last Thanksgiving, I'm at my wife's Thanksgiving dinner, and she's got an aunt, okay, who has a tracheotomy. You know what a tracheotomy is? They got a little hole here, right? And there she is, she's talking to me, you know, like, look, you know, this thing. She's like, oh, Robbie, it's so great to talk to you. And Mom, we're just talking. And then she's like, hey, could you do me a favor? I got to cut my meat. Will you cover my hole so we can keep talking? And I'm like, sure. I didn't know if I was like supposed to like wet my finger. Like, what's the proper protocol? You know? And they all loved it. All her family, like, you know, she only lets people cover her hole who she loves. So you're good. So I'm driving home. My wife's like, did you have a good time? And I was like, yeah, I got to a form of third base with your aunt. Let's see. We had a lot of Catholic talk tonight. We had Charlie's Catholic, I'm Catholic. I was the hardest working altar boy though, Charlie. I worked harder than any other altar boy. You know why? I wasn't attractive, right? I don't know what they were doing, but I was working. I was putting candles out. And the worst part is I'm walking home, right? And the guy in the white van's like, no, I gave out all the candy, my dog's right here, we're good. I'm like, fuck. But growing up in New Jersey, special. I want to do an impersonation of my mom. My mom was a tough lady, man. She's just tough. She was born and raised in East St. Louis. Yeah, so you know what that means. I'm black. No. But she's a tough lady. She had a job. She had to fight every day. She had to be a master negotiator. It would get physical. But she could take it because that's what it takes to be a first grade teacher in Newark, New Jersey. But she was tough, man. And she would be like, I always knew how pissed she was at me about the zeal she put out her Viceroy cigarette. She'd be like, Robbie, fucking. But when the phone rang, it was the worst fucking thing in the world to her. And this is my impersonation. She'd be like, getting ready to sit in her chair. She's just like, ring, ring, goddamn son of a bitch. And phone rings every time my ass hits the chair. Hello? Oh, yes, Bishop. Oh, yes. The cookies will be there for Mass. Uh-huh. Yep. Just like every other Sunday. Yes, every other Sunday. Yes. God bless you too, you son of a bitch and bishop. That's how I grew up. I grew up getting Viceroy cigarettes for her at the local bar. I'm 8 years old. I'd go in. I wasn't taller then either. I didn't look younger. Didn't look older. I pull in there, my little tricycle, which is very hard to do because in New Jersey, it's hard to ride the tricycle and give the finger to get on the fucking expressway. It's very hard to accomplish. You go in there, I get cigarettes. The guy'd be like, hey, hold up, Rob. Here's a pack of matches for you. Go have some fun. I'm Robbie P. That's all my time. You can follow me at laughatRobbieP.com.